Okay, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Damien Hurst ended up becoming a billionaire. Now, to be completely honest, I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. Some articles say he's worth 1 billion. Some articles say he's worth 380 million. But for the sake of this video and for SEO purposes and just for marketing purposes, I'm going to say he's a billionaire. But seriously, whether he's a billionaire or not, he's still considered probably the wealthiest artist who currently walk Earth, which is pretty cool because in the art space, it's kind of known that most artists achieve wealth once they pass away. But obviously, he rewrote the rules to what it means to make wealth as an artist, and he talks about it. He's happy about it, and I'm happy for him and all the success that he achieved with his art career. But more importantly for you, I'm going to be talking about how he ended up doing it and what you can learn from Damien Hurst so you can apply this to your own art space or your own art career. Now, I'm letting you know right now, this video is going to be very raw. What I mean by this is it's not gonna have many cuts. It's not gonna have many edits. I wanted this to be really natural. And for those who don't know, basically, my name is Jeroy Henry. I'm the founder of Artist Rise. You may be asking, why is this kid telling me about the art industry and what does he know? Honestly, I probably don't know much, but I did help a few artists all over the world sell some artwork. So I think I kind of cracked the code to selling art. But because of that, I'm also obsessed with art. So we're gonna talk about a lot of art. No cursing. A lot of art stuff. With that being said, I'm just going to jump straight into the video. But if you're here, definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely leave a comment and let me know what type of videos you want to see. My mind just be roaming. I don't know what to talk about on this channel. It's just to give as much content as I possibly can. So once again, anything you want to see, just let me know. But with that being said, let's stop babbling on. Let's get into the good stuff. So if you're not familiar with Damien Hurst, I'm gonna try to put up a picture here, but once again, I told you this may be raw, so you probably don't get that picture. But anyway, you can Google him. He's Damien Hurst. You have to hear about him if you create artwork. He's considered the biggest artist that walks Earth. To give you a little background on him, he actually created this piece behind me. How did I get a Damien Hurst piece? That's a secret. Can't talk about that. But also, he created Drake's cover as far as the Certified Lover Boy album. He created some artworks that sold for hundreds of millions and tens of millions and even hundreds of thousands. But seriously, he really did those things. He put sharks in tanks, cows in tanks, cut their body in half, and had a lot of controversy when it comes to his artwork. But nonetheless, he's extremely successful. I would recommend, if you're not aware of him, do your own research after this. But more importantly, I'm going to talk about how he ended up achieving his wealth. And it really comes down to one main thing. However, you'll hear a lot of people talk about Damien Hurst coming from money, and he had connections and all this other things that people just say happens, which if it happened, cool. If it didn't, cool. But in reality, it's very obvious why he became so successful. And it's the freaking artwork. Let's talk about it. So there are some key things he applied to his older work that allow him to shoot to fame. And if you can learn how to apply these same things to your own work, you will succeed, and you succeed really quickly. I have some artists that apply some of these tactics to their own work and hit millions of views just on Instagram because of these little tactics or secrets or whatever you want to call them. It's really not a secret. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So first thing first, if you look at Damien Hurst's work, the main thing is that it's really eye-catching. I used to call this the wow factor. Basically, the wow factor was a phrase that came up about when a guy named Seth Godin, a very successful marketer, discovered this ideal of you could create something that's extremely interesting, then people cannot ignore it. And if people cannot ignore it, people will begin to talk about it. And if people begin to talk about it, you will begin to become aware. And then what I mean by aware, I'm not saying aware like you aware of something. I'm just saying like people aware of you. And then when you hit that stage, you begin to rise to these different levels of fame. And when you rise to these different levels of fame, you become more desirable. When you become more desirable, you start to sell more work, and then you just live in a beautiful life. But basically, think about it like this. This is the example that Seth Godin gives. Imagine you riding down the street. You're in your car, and it's you and your family, right? And as you're riding down that street, let's say you passing like all these cows. As you passing these cows, let's say you see a purple cow, right? Now you may be thinking, Drew, what the heck are you talking about? Just stay with me. Let's say you see a purple cow. If you see a purple cow, the first thing you're gonna think is like, holy no cursing, holy crap, that's a purple cow. And then most likely you're gonna want to pull over. You're gonna want to take pictures. You're probably gonna want to get a video. You're probably gonna even be willing to jump the fence to get even closer, look at the cow, because it's a freaking purple cow. How often do we see purple cows? Never. So it becomes engaging. Most likely when you post that video of that purple cow on Instagram, if you post as a reel, it'll most likely go viral. Why? Because people don't see purple cows. They don't see it often. It's rare. So what happened for Damien Hurst is that he created these very, very different, very, very iconic, very, very appealing, very, very controversial art pieces. And then when you create something like that, it makes people talk. And when people talk, they become aware of you. Now, here's the thing. What Damien Hurst did is he put a shark inside of a tank. I'm going to try to put it here. But he put a shark inside of a tank. And when he put that shark inside of a tank, no one was putting a shark inside of a tank at all, right? And then he ended up cutting other animals in half and putting them inside of tanks, filling it up with resin. And that became so iconic at the time because it was never done before. And when you do something that's never done before, once again, it gets people eyes. So what I mean by this, it gets people really looking to see what's been done, how you're doing it, and just to talk about it. They want to share with their friends. So if you create an artwork, how can you apply this to your own career? It's really simple. You have to start thinking about how you could take your art career to the next level. Now, when it comes to taking your artwork to the next level, I'm gonna give you a couple pointers that I have my artists do, and it seems to just about blow them up on social media every single time. So first thing first, think about absolutely creative mediums. Now, if you don't know, a medium is just the material you paint with or create with. Think about some really creative mediums. This piece behind me, in between these butterflies, there's actual glitter on the canvas. So when you look close, it's very reflective, it's very shiny. But also, I have artists that create work and using other things. Now, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna think the first thing that comes to mind, which is, I'm gonna try something different, I'm gonna be creative, I'm gonna be outside the box. And then the first thing you're gonna do is probably go to get gold leaf. Don't do that. Everybody do it. Get really creative. Go out in nature and find creative things you can use. I remember I was in art school at a school called NOCA. This was back when I was like 14. Very prestigious art school. And that is one girl that went there. We called her V. V, I would never forget. She got a full scholarship to an art institute because she used to paint in coffee. Yes, coffee. So she used to take coffee and actually paint with it. And she used to create these beautiful paintings with coffee. Now, I know some of you are gonna take that and then start using coffee, but that's not the point of this video. The point is for you to think outside the box. Use untraditional mediums to create work. And then when you start to use those mediums, it's gonna become appealing to people because they're not used to seeing that. Also, think about ways to create. Use very creative ways to create your work. There was a guy on Instagram, I can't forget his name. If it comes to me, I'll put it here. If it don't, you're gonna see that area just stay blank. But he started painting with like his hands. He started painting with like hats. He started painting with shoes. I wasn't a fan of the work. However, the guy ended up hitting like 2 million followers on Instagram in 1 year. Why? Because it was untraditional. It was something no one was seeing. So when you don't see something often, you want to share it because it's just something to talk about at the very least. So with that being said, think of new mediums you could use to create artwork. Now, the second thing, go big. If you can, go big. Go as big as you possibly can. Try to do paintings on canvas that's bigger than yourself. It's just more appealing. People love to see big art pieces. It don't matter what you put on a big canvas, but because of the size of the canvas, if it's big enough, it's going to automatically look professional. That's just how it works. I don't make the rules. I'm just here to give them to you. So go big, go really big. I'm not saying you're gonna be able to sell that big piece because most people probably can't afford a piece that's really big and they wouldn't even know where to put it. However, if that big piece is really amazing, it could lead to a lot of engagement for your art career. And when it leads to a lot of engagement for your art career, then that's gonna lead to them purchasing the smaller pieces that people can't afford. So it's worth it. Go big. I mean really big. I'm talking about 6 foot, 7 foot big. Now, after going big and using a different medium, last thing, get creative. Get really creative. One of my favorite artists to date is James Jean. I think James Jean is the most creative artist in the space. take a chance to check out his Instagram, scroll through some of his posts. The guy have like 1 million followers on Instagram. Why? Because he create extremely creative work, and people love to see the creativity on canvas. So try to get extremely creative. If you just do those 3 things and nothing else, you will instantly begin to take your artwork to another level. Now you may say, hey Gerard, I already have my style figured out. And if that's what you think, then you're thinking wrong. Every artist on earth is always exploring. You never actually have a style. With that being said, think about your art career as always developing. You're always looking to improve. If you look at any artists, including Damien Hurst and James Jean, which I both mentioned, you will notice that if you scroll back to all their older work and their newer work afterwards, you're going to see the work transition so much over time. So that's the same for your art career. Here's the thing, you can learn the craziest Instagram hacks and tactics and hashtags and all this other stuff that these quote unquote gurus talk about. But in reality, I can tell you right now, if you create absolutely phenomenal work that's different, new mediums, and it's large, it's going to get engagement. People are going to want it, and you're going to be making sales. It's that simple, because people love what's not being done. Also, people love things that are entertaining. People love things that are eye-catching. If you create something that's eye-catching, entertaining, and never been done, then you're golden.